Stardusted Courtney, and thank you for picking me, the Oracle of Apollo, to bring you this information today. I am absolutely humbled. Today we are using the Mythic Oracle deck, receiving wisdoms from the ancient Greek pantheon. I like to open this session always with a little bit of sage and a candle. I clear this card to any lower frequencies, and I ask the angels to surround and direct and protect us. And I also ask that Courtney be cleansed and protected as we clear all the energies out of this space. Okie dokie. And I'm gonna go ahead and light this candle too. And we ask that this candle transmute any lower frequencies that would misrepresent any part of the communication that is being brought forth this evening for Courtney. All right, let's get started. Today we are doing the Aphrodite relationship spread. The relationship spread helps you to clearly see and understand the relationships in your life. This is relevant not only to in love relationships, but also in relationships with friends, families, parents, teachers, and basically anyone else who in your life that's important for you. So we're going to focus on one person for the reading of this card, which is for romantic love. Achilles. This is the first card. And this card is going to show the nature of the relationship and how you relate to each other. First, the myth. Achilles, an extremely complex hero, was the son of the sea nymph Thetis and King Peleus. He basically was a central figure in the Trojan War, wearing armor crafted by the goddess Hephaestus. The Greeks could not have won the Trojan War without Achilles, because he was without a doubt the greatest warrior of his time. Yet, he was so deeply affected by his humanity that he was capable of great love, grief, pride, and anger. And that rivaled that of the gods themselves. So when Thetis told him that he could either live a long and comfortable life or go to Troy and die with glory, he chose to fight. And despite his skill as a warrior, he was slain. Paris, known as the coward in battle, shot Achilles with an arrow through his heel, the only vulnerable part of his body. The message. Achilles accepted his vulnerability, as it is better to die for what you believe in and what you love than to live comfortably without love or courage. Achilles represents our desire for glory and immortality, and the complexity with grief that we find during our search. He accepted the inevitable and yet strove for meaning and purpose. This is the fundamental link that binds all humankind. So when we see Achilles in our spread, you may be feeling a call to glory, to devote yourself to a higher cause. This is a time to remember that the greatest warrior has the greatest heart. So in order to accomplish great things, you must be able to connect to your vulnerability, to reveal something deeper in your nature, to reveal what makes you human. Your vulnerability will connect you to all of humankind and bring power to what you achieve. This is a time to live and breathe the passion that exists within you. For this love and passion will lead you to the ultimate glory. So we see here being brave enough, because you already have learned how to be stronger. I feel like that you are absolutely ready, just the way Achilles knew it was his time to go ahead and travel to this unknown journey, even though he knew it could result in his death. But he knew in his gut that he would still succeed in his task. And you're in the place now where you know in your gut you're ready, you're loyal, and you're willing to fight for what you love. You're in touch with your humanity. And we see that you have these qualities. So we're going to keep unfolding cards and see if the potential partner will also have these qualities. And you'll see as the story develops. This card is going to offer a lesson to be learned from this relationship. And what we have here is Lady Demeter. She represents harvest. Demeter, goddess of the fertile earth, is the daughter of the Titans Kronos and Rhea. When Hades stole Demeter's daughter Persephone to be his queen in the underworld, Demeter searched the world in despair and mourned until the earth became barren. So thanks to Zeus's invention, Persephone could return to her mother for 2/3 of the year, spreading 1/3 of the year in the underworld. The myth essentially explains the changing seasons. When Persephone is away, Demeter grieves and the earth becomes barren, thus giving us winter. And then when she returns, it's the spring. New life comes with her. Demeter is happy and the earth flourishes with life through summer. But things start to die in autumn as that's time for Persephone to leave again. So, the message. Our lives always moves in cycles. We have periods that are like summer, when everything seems to be flourishing and going well, and periods like winter when everything, well, it seems that nothing is working, moving, changing, or even improving. Winter may even feel like a period of total mental, emotional, or physical stillness. While every stage of the cycle is important and essential to grow, some stages are harder than others. If you have pulled this card today, which we have, the long and barren winter is over. You may have gone through a period when you were working very hard at school, home, or activities, or even in relationships, with little to no visible evidence for the work that you've done. That time is now over, and your life is shifting toward movement and rewards. This is a time for harvest for you. This means that it's time to receive your due for your work. You have been through the harsh, cold winter, worked hard, and remained focused, and now it's time for reaping the benefits. All the seeds that you planted have grown and borne fruit. And this is time for carefully and lovingly harvesting the fruits of your labor. Within each fruit, new seeds emerge. So this is the time for great abundance. Remember to have reverence, humility, and gratitude as you enjoy this joyous part of the cycle of nature. So we see with Demeter, you've paid your dues. You've done the hardships, you've done the work, and now it's time for you to celebrate, to enjoy. And we see that momentum coming in here, with Demeter showing us in the position that she's in, that these are the lessons that are being learned from the relationship, and you've done your lessons and you've paid your due diligence for sure. Let's see what else awaits us. 1, 2, The next one is 3. Themis. So this card knows the hidden aspect of you that this person reflects. We attract people in our lives who reflect our hidden talents and flaws. So when we feel positive towards a person, we are usually attracted to our own unrecognized talents, which we more easily see in others. So we may feel negative toward a person because he or she reflects our own unrecognized fears or flaws that we truly think of ourselves. By looking into this card, learn to heal conflict and own your true potential. Take responsibility for your feelings and your life. With Lady Themis. Oh boy. The myth, natural order. So Themis is the goddess of natural order and justice, the daughter of Gaia and Uranus, and she's known for her wisdom and acts as consort to Zeus. Themis governs over the law of nature as opposed to the law of humankind. When Themis' order is not respected, Nemesis, the goddess of retribution, punishes the offender. The message: justice is balance, and balance comes from order. So, Themis is the balance of all things, as is nature. All things have a natural order: day, night, harmony, chaos, birth, death. And when we struggle against this natural order, we become severely out of balance. This is the time to get your life in order. Clear your bedroom and personal space. Organize your schoolwork and activities. Keep your body clean and healthy, and keep your relationships clear and honest. Order can take hard work and focus, but it is necessary. It is time to look at all the aspects of your life on both the inner and the outer levels and face them head on. You may need to check your grades or deadlines, confront a person or institution, or deal with personal issues, habits, and beliefs. We often experience pain in circumstances that feel unfair, but in time, all things find their natural way of returning to balance. And they do not need to be forced. Justice is not an eye for an eye. Justice is the natural order of the universe. You cannot control other people, nor can you control every event that happens in your life. You can control your own actions and do what you believe is right. But if you are clear in your own life and really honest with yourself, then justice will surely follow. So for this card number 3, we're seeing here that Themis is talking about justice. And just like in the one question guidance that I gave, what was brought to my attention was the requirements of balance, okay? And what's also brought to my attention is that at times we may pass off a feeling or believe a feeling that we're having to be a mutual feeling. Maybe we think we're having chemistry, but we may not. So this is saying basically don't force anything, because everything has its place and has its natural order. We saw in the last card with Demeter, even with Themis talking about the natural order of things and nature and cycles, we're already getting 2 cards here talking about cycles, about being balanced, about understanding the natural order of things. So I really feel that this also may be a caution to not force something, not jump the gun, and that there actually may be even more important things in your life that you're ignoring in lieu of finding love or wanting to have love. So there might be some other things that we have to deal with that is going to allow us to bring love energy with us if we can achieve that. And this could be, again, like the personal issues, habits, beliefs, or even, I feel like I said something in the email about bringing something around. I forget. Boundaries, personal boundaries, I felt like was very important for you too. Which actually makes me think of Achilles, because Achilles' only vulnerable spot was his ankle. And that person knew that he had that vulnerability and used it against him. So you need to make sure that you have your boundaries set up too. All right, let's see what card number 4 says. And see if we can continue to make sense of this. Card number 4. We have Chiron as number 4. Chiron is going to show how to bring harmony to this relationship. And knowing that in the last card, number 3, we had to learn to heal conflict and the true potential and take responsibility for what we were feeling in our lives. And coming into, so basically that was like so basically that's a precursor for what I'm about to say now, because this card, when it's going to learn how to bring harmony to a relationship, is showing healing. And when we look at the natural cycles, natural cycles itself is healing. It may seem daunting or painful, but in and of itself, cycles are healing. Because without the decay of a big old tree, there could be no seedlings. There could be no new birth. All right, so let's get into the myth. Chiron was a centaur, a creature that is half man and half horse. While most centaurs do not have divine parentage, Chiron was born of the union between Kronos, appearing as a horse, and the nymph Philyria. The wise centaur was a teacher to many heroes, including Achilles, which we had, Heracles, and Peleus. Chiron was also known as a great healer. But one day, when Heracles accidentally shot him in the thigh with a poison arrow, of all things, and Chiron was unable to heal himself. But being immortal, he could not die, but he suffered great pain. Chiron and Heracles convinced Zeus to allow Chiron to give up his immortal life in exchange for the life of Prometheus, whom Zeus was torturing for stealing fire and giving it to man. Ouch. Chiron was then placed in the sky as the constellation Sagittarius. Message. All healing requires a sacrifice of some kind. We must give up that which is getting us bound in pain, which is usually related to that which is keeping us bound in comfort. Sometimes it feels harder to give up the old, comfortable thoughts and beliefs that are actually keeping us miserable than it does to be happy and healthy. So when we see Chiron, it's because you need healing in your life now. Whether you require physical, mental, or emotional healing, you must pinpoint which aspects of your life are in need of balance. This may relate to, well, all kinds of relationships, including even school and health. And you need to make some active changes in these areas in order to bring them back into an essential state of inner balance. You may need to look over your life and the aspects of it that you have not yet owned. you may need to undergo a deep emotional release so that you can facilitate acceptance and forgiveness. A counselor may aid you in this process, but alternatively, there are many books that may be of great assistance to you. This is a time for healing for you. Sharon informs us that the greatest gift we impart on the world come from our greatest wounds. Through the process of healing, you can learn about the inherent gifts that exist within you and make the heroic choice to use your gifts for the greater good. The decision to be a healthy person is the greatest gift you can offer the world. This card shows what this relationship contributes to your life. And I believe we have Cronus here. Cronus, son of Gaia and Uranus, father of Zeus and many of the Olympian gods. He is a god of harvest and vegetation and carries a sickle. Gaia and Uranus told him that one of his children will overthrow him, and out of fear, he swallowed each child, and as soon as he or she was born, his wife Rhea tricked him when Zeus was born and fed him a stone, and instead of the newborn being swallowed, allowing Zeus to be raised in safety. When Zeus reached maturity, he forced Cronus to free his swallowed children, Zeus's siblings, and led by Zeus, they waged a war on Cronus until they overcame him. This is why Cronus represents cycles, because although he was a great king, and the period of his reign was known as the Golden Age, it was his fear of cycles and change that led to his eventual demise. Nature is filled with cycles, including the cycles that exist within our own lives. All things change, and when we embrace and flow with these changes, they enrich both our lives and our experience of our life. It can be frightening, but new life is possible once we accept change. When we resist the natural cycles of change, we become tyrannical, clinging to the old order. We feel a sense of deadness following by bitterness, frustration, fear, anxiety. And when we flow with our changing selves and changing places within the world, we remain connection to life and ourselves and nature. So this is a time for you to review the cycles in your life. And these are questions that you should really ask yourself. How have you become stuck? Or have you become stuck? Are you trying to hold on to things that you should let go of? Are you afraid of moving into the next phase of your life? It may be time to stop, feel the fear that's coming in, and then move forward anyway. Although you may need to let go of your old identity and habits, and this, well, it's frightening. You will find much joy, power, and wisdom when you accept the new cycle. We all fear our mortality, and yet it is the fear that leads us to our deadening. You will gain a new sense of life when you embrace your cycles with joy, and it is imperative now to mourn the old ways, but it's time to let them go. Open your arms to the new life of possibilities that await you, and then move forward. then the last card is the outcome if we take action. So it is Helios. Helios. The myth. The Titan Helios is the son of Hyperion, god of light, and Thea, goddess of heavenly light, and the brothers Selene, moon, and Eos, dawn, the personification of the sun. He is often depicted as a beautiful crowned god who rides a chariot across the sky throughout the day, illuminating the world with his lights. When our vision is clear, we have the joy and comfort of perspective. We are able to make sense of the past, present, and future, thereby allowing ourselves to make clear decisions about our lives. If Helios is in your way today, or presenting himself, it's because the sun is shining on you now. This is a time of enlightenment, clarity, and joy, and it will come to you as your life is illuminated. Things are becoming clear for you, so this is a very good time to write and reflect upon where you are. You may feel yourself brimming with inspiration and positive feelings, and this is an empowering period. I said pyramid. Filled with vast possibilities and much joy. So you're going to use this new burst of energy to propel yourself forward to where you want to be in life. But most important, do not forget to celebrate life, to play, to be merry. For life is nothing without joy. Now is a time for renewed energy, clarity, perspective. Have fun and enjoy this abundant and fruitful period. Okay, so as a recap, we got a lot of good informations. There are a lot of things here that are pretty repetitive for you, which is you've been coming into a cycle. So maybe you've been impatient and wanting to push things forward or not knowing why things are moving as fast as you wanted to, but that's because you've been in a natural cycle for yourself. And we see that with cycles Chronos, you have Demeter harvest, and the natural order in Themis. Why have you been in these cycles up to this point? You've come from, you've forged through the fire, you've been through the wars, and you may have been taking life serious. And when we look at Achilles, this disciplined, militant type, his face is very serious, although he was ready to march until the point, where he succeeds, but he is very serious. The reason that we're coming into this cycle now, because the cycle has changed for you, is this is a time for healing. So letting and understanding, and we've had this message more than once, understanding that we have to let go of some things that are part of the past that are no longer serving us. Once we make peace with those things, we're going to be allowed to move forward. And our path is going to be illuminated. Sometimes we must lose things to find what must be found. And that's what I'm seeing here with Helios. Helios, also being the personification of the sun, is the happiest card, him and Apollo are the happiest cards in the deck because the sun in tarot represents happiness. So what I am really feeling here is that you're coming into a time of being able to really see, if you choose to, whether certain people should be in your life or not, knowing that everything has a cycle, not forcing anything to take place, and allowing yourself to not wait for tomorrow to be happy, but to make happiness today within everything you do, and not wait till the perfect moment, the perfect person comes into your life. Even if you're dating someone now and he is not the one, there's no reason that you can't be on each other's paths, gain healing from one another's past experiences, and allow each other to be happy. There's no reason that you can't. The same way that just because this pizza wasn't the pizza for end all be all, it has been served to you, it's on the table, so don't wait for the perfect pizza. It's okay to eat what you have. In this case, to date whom you like or date this particular individual But knowing that in order to really attract the one, you have to make sure you're on a path of healing and being authentic with yourself, creating boundaries and justice just like Themis, and appreciating everything that you have, expressing gratitude for the things you have. And that happiness is coming. It's right there at the top of the deck, literally. This is telling me if you take action and make the choices that allow you to be authentic with yourself and not be overbearing on someone else or force something on someone else or force something to work, you're going to be happy. And that joy is going to spark. So I hope this helps you today. May you go in love, light, and wisdom to know thyself, love thyself, and remember the divine always has your back. Ciao.